Okay, welcome back for part two, One Man's Faith today. We are looking at prayer, but what we're moving toward, just to let you know, we're moving toward understanding how to operate in the court of heaven. Okay? In other words, prayer associated with the court. I'm going to develop that some more, but I want you to understand, because see, we don't understand kingship. We don't understand kingdoms. You know, that's not part of, I mean, we read about them, you got King Arthur, and the Knights of the Round Table, we see and read and talk about fairy tales and things that happened, millennial ago. Okay, several millennials really ago sometimes. But we as Westerners don't understand king and kingdom. All right, we don't see that. And when we say God's king, we say, oh yeah, he's in control of everything. But we don't see that there's a structure of government that is associated with being king. Okay, and within a kingdom, whoops, went too far. Within a kingdom, there are 10 aspects that are associated with a kingdom. First is king. Okay, yeah. All right, second is territory or domain. Okay, we just talked about what that is. Third, there is a constitution. Now, a constitution is a covenant of the king with his citizens, and it's the expressed mind and will of the king for his citizens and the kingdom. All right, it's a covenant. It says, okay, this is what will be in the kingdom. This is how the kingdom will be. Okay, so fourthly, if you've got a constitution, then you've got to have citizens. Okay, if you've got territory, you've got to have citizens, and they are the people that are under the rule of the king. Okay, fifthly, there is law. You have to have laws. You have to have ways that the citizens should act. It constitutes the standards and the principles that are established by the king. Okay, sixthly, because it's a kingdom, the king also gives benefits and privileges. Okay, privileges are the benefits the king lavishes on his faithful citizens. Once you become part of the kingdom, the king is personally responsible for you and for your needs. This is one of the differences of the government of a kingdom. Everything, including you, belong to the king, and he is responsible for your welfare. Now, in some of the earthly kingdoms we know about and we read about and we see on TV and all, don't totally show that, because they're showing the humanistic side of it. But in reality, if you have a kingdom, the king is responsible not only for the territory, but he's responsible for those who come under his rule. Okay? It's an important concept to understand. Next, we have a code of conduct or a code of ethics. It's the acceptable conduct of the citizens in the kingdom and how they represent the kingdom, i.e., those within the kingdom are ambassadors. Just as Peter said, you are royal ambassadors. You are ambassadors for Christ. There's a code of conduct, there are ethics and ways that you should operate that show forth the kingdom. And people see he is a member of that kingdom. Okay, now I'm giving you a generic thing here. This is any kingdom. These are parts of that kingdom. All right, code of ethics, and then there's an army. Each kingdom has an army. That's the system of security for the kingdom. And then number 9, the Commonwealth. There's a Commonwealth involved, and the Commonwealth is the economic system of the kingdom. Okay, it's the wealth that's established within the kingdom that benefits all that are part of the kingdom. Okay, and lastly, there's a social culture. It's the environment created by the life and manners of the king. There's a specific way that we are to act. Okay? Now, do you see these components within the kingdom of God? I think this is cool. See, kingdoms were established by the king. And so all earthly kingdoms come under, or should come under, these aspects. It depends on who the king is as to whether these things are held in proper order. But God has a territory. Every place on which your foot is tread, I have given it to you. All right? So everywhere we go, we establish the kingdom. We spread the kingdom out. That's why it says, as you go, preach, saying, the kingdom is at hand. Wherever you go, the kingdom is at hand. The kingdom of God is coming in. The kingdom of God is taking over. Now, whether you decide to be a citizen of that kingdom, that's up to you. And if you're not a citizen of the kingdom, then the privileges are not there for you. And God has his privileges. God has established a law. As we know with the first kingdom, the kingdom of Israel, they had the Torah, the law. You shall love the God with all your heart, soul, and mind. You shall not worship any other God. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not bear false witness. The 10 Commandments are, in a sense, the constitution and the law of the kingdom, the first kingdom. The second kingdom, the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God, the kingdom that is based on grace that you and I are now under, has a law. Jesus says, a new commandment I give to you, that you love one another even as I have loved you. By this shall all men know that you are my disciples, i.e., you come under my ethic, my code of ethics, when they see how you love one another. Now, you think some of you have been hurt by the church because you have seen the wrong code of ethics. That wasn't God's code of ethics that you saw that ran you away. That was the law of the adversary that sneaks in and causes men to have the spirit of stupid come on them, to where they think that they are at a higher position than somebody else and can therefore dictate who that person is and what they do. And in a sense, take rule. And it's wrong. And I want to apologize to you, because no church, no minister, no ministry of any church should ever do that to an individual. We destroy the code of ethics that God expects us to walk in when we do that. And I want to suggest to you, if you've been in that position, you find a family, a church, in which you can be a part of that you would feel at home. Don't think all churches are based and do those type things. You can find a home, because church is really family. We are the family of God. We are the children of God. If we're children, then we're family. If you've got spouses, if you've got siblings, if you've got brothers and sisters, they're family. Well, that's what we are. Now, your family and my family are associated. I mean, we're all kind of, if I can use the term, kissing cousins. That's a term we used to use back east. Kissing cousins, which means, you know, we're just very close. And that's the way we are. You may go to a different house of worship, but we're still family. And I love you, and I have to, and we need to see this. We need to love each other. Jesus said, a new commandment I give to you, that you love one another. That's the commandment of the kingdom. Do you see that? And we are to love each other as Jesus loved us. And how did he love us? He gave himself for us. We are to not think of ourselves more highly than we ought, as Paul tells us. But we are to put each other above ourselves. In other words, in a sense, we are to be servants to each other. Jesus even said, hey, you want to be great? You be a servant. You want to be first in the kingdom? Then you be a slave. Tells us that in Matthew. So we need to learn to serve one another so that the world will see and know that we're part of God's kingdom. That's an important point. As a matter of fact, if you've been hurt by that, then you need to lay it down. You need to forgive that church, that person, whatever it was that offended you. You cannot walk in offense. You cannot hold an offense. You cannot keep an offense. Not if you're going to be in the kingdom of God. It's illegal for you and I to have offense, no matter what the reason. If we're able to hold offense, then God could hold offense by what we did to Jesus. So let it go and just say, Father, forgive me because I've had this offense. Help me, Lord, to get over this. Help me, Lord. I want to come back to you. I want to follow you, okay? If you're one that has caused an offense, you need to do the same thing. Say, Father, forgive me because I have brought offense. And listen, because I just mentioned it, it's come into your mind what that offense is. Get rid of it, okay? I got to take a break. So, hey, while I take it, deal with those things, okay? And I'll be right back.